Okay, so this is what the Matlab interface looks like when you install the app completely or when you are using the web version. I've increased the font size so that you can all see. Please react if you can see my screen or if there are any difficulties. So to get this space I'm on, just search matlab.mathworks.com. On the software, this is how Matlab looks like. And then here we have the command window. And then this is the file tab that can show you your previous files. These are files from assignments Dr. Justice gave to us some time back. Down here is the workspace. Then so the workspace is used for storing variables that are already defined or assigned, and then the command window is for inputting commands. So in programming, when we talk about a variable is, you can imagine a variable like a box on your computer that stores some kind of information. It could be a number, a name, anything at all. And then to assign or to create a variable in Matlab, all you have to do is write the variable name and then use the assignment operator, which is our normal equal to. In programming, equal to is called the assignment operator. So you use the assignment operator to assign a value to your variable. Now, so before I go into that, I'll show you some basic commands you can do in the command window. So in the command window, you can do something simple as additions, multiplications, subtractions without actually doing any real code, like let's say 5 times 5. When you hit enter, Matlab creates a variable called ans, and assigns the value of your answer to that variable called ans. And you can see down here that immediately I did that, in the workspace the ans appeared there with the value and the size. So like I said, Matlab stands for Matrix Laboratory. So it does everything in the form of matrices. Yeah, so it creates all variables are matrices in Matlab. Then we can try with a one by one matrix. When you assign a value like 5 or this 25 to the ans, the value is a vector, like the normal vectors we have in calculus. I'd like you to consider what I just pasted. So if a is equal to 5, it's a scalar variable. B being equal to, using square brackets 1, 2, 3, it's a row vector. Then C being equal to 4, semicolon 5, semicolon 6, it's a column vector. So to create a row vector or to create any vector at all, or any matrix or an array in Matlab, use the square brackets, and to determine what type they are, you use the comma symbol or the semicolon. When you use the comma symbol, you are defining a row vector, and when you use the semicolon, you are defining column vectors. So you can, looking at this, you can interpret or see that it will be easy to create a matrix with this logic, where you'd use the comma for your rows and the semicolon for your columns. So it's as simple as that. I've talked about variables, I've talked about arrays, vectors, and matrices. I'm going to talk about some operations you can do with them. As I already said, Matlab supports standard arithmetic operations like addition, subtraction, and multiplication. And then matrices, you create matrices using square brackets. and you define whether they are rows or columns using the commas and then the semicolons. So I'm going to give an example of a matrix over here for you to see. So what I've just pasted right now is a 3 by 3 matrix, and if I hit enter, you can see it has been arranged in that order. So you can see that what I'm doing is an actual matrix. And then I didn't just use the concept of matrices here. I also created a variable called matrix and assigned it. Like I said, the assignment operator is equal to. So if you are asked in objectives, I'm sure Dr. J would ask, if you are asked in objectives that what is the assignment operator in Matlab, it's equal to. And then the equality operator, that's far ahead in the course, but then equality operator is use two equal to's, not one. So when you say 1 or A is equal to B, you saying A is equal to B is you checking whether the value of A is equal to the value of B. That's A is equal to B. So it's used in conditionals and if statements, and those things we'll probably do them next 2 weeks or next week. So like I'm saying again, equal to is the assignment operator. And there are some rules for naming or creating variables, and I would like to go into them. Firstly, you can't use defined commands as your variable names because they create system errors. You also cannot start the name of a variable with any symbol like dot, any symbol at all. But the only ways to create variables are just naming them like normal words. Then if let's say we are writing a variable name like student name, this seems a bit cumbersome, so we have something called the Camel method or the Pascal method, where you capitalize the first letter of each word after the first word. So instead of this, you can use student name, so with a capital N. So I can say student name is equal to. Now in programming, once again, words are called strings in programming, and strings are arrays of characters. So each A is a character, B is a character, C is a character. And then to write words in programming, you can't just write them like that. You have to put them in a box before you put them there. And the approved boxes here are the quotes, the single quotes and double quotes. So if I write, let's say student name is equal to Kofi, and I hit enter, it gave me an unrecognized function or variable Kofi, which means when you don't put the words in a quote, it thinks that okay, so you are probably calling for a variable, or you are calling for a function, or you are calling for something that has been predefined. Let me just dive into this one. When we say functions in programming, it's the same as saying functions in mathematics. F of x, f of y, it's the same thing. It just looks more, it just makes more sense when you use them here. So as I was saying, strings are arrays of characters, and then to define a string, you put the string in quotes. So student name is equal to Kofi. Now you are free to use single quotes or double quotes. It's not a problem at all. You can use single quotes, you can use double quotes. And then if I hit enter, see I don't get the error again. It just tells me student's name is equal to Kofi. If you check in our workspace, like I said, the workspace is used for storing variables. You can see that all the variables we've created so far are there for you to refer from. And when you look at their sizes, you can see the answer or ANS with a value of 25 is a 1 by 1 matrix. The variable named matrix is a 3 by 3 matrix, and the variable named student name with a value Kofi is a 1 by 4 matrix, or yes, an array of 4 characters. Yeah. So when you are writing lots of commands, you see that your screen becomes a bit cumbersome. So there are ways of clearing everything. All you have to do is type clear and hit enter. My bad. So CLC clears your command window, and then clear, the word clear itself clears your workspace, so it deletes all your previously created variables. If you want to refer to a previously used command, all you have to do is hit your arrow keys up and down, so use up to go back to previous commands. As you can see, they are showing up. Yeah, so that's it with a small introduction to the whole Matlab workspace. Now, to actually write Matlab files, I can show you some of these files I've put in. I don't remember what's in them, but let's see. Okay, so this one assignment Dr. J gave to us. Yeah, so clear. When you create your files, your Matlab files, you can start your code with clear and CLC to clear everything, because if you don't clear everything and you start coding and you have previously used variables, it can interfere and cause a lot of problems. So I'm going to close this, and then we'll create a new file. So you come to new scripts, not new live scripts. Just click on it, and then you get this untitled or whatever. So you are supposed to save them and edit the names. When you edit the names, save them as .m. You end it with .m, else when you run, it won't run, it will give you error. These are simple mistakes that most of us make when we are coding, and then we get tired and see that no, we can't do this again. So just give it a name, let's say first file.m, then hit enter. That's all. That's about it. Let me stop here for now and take questions. If you don't understand anything, feel free to ask me. I'm here to answer your questions for you. So please raise your hand if you have a question, or just unmute yourself and ask your question. Joseph Frimpong Ampuma, do you have a question?
No, please. I think I'm okay.
Let's move on. So it's a standard thing to start every Matlab file with your CLC and your clear, so that it will clear your command window for you and clear your workspace, so that you can see whatever you want to see or do. We start with our CLC, then we put a colon there. Then we do our clear, put colon there. The reason why we do clear and colon is, in programming, when you use the colon means you've ended the line you are writing. Repeat, colon means you've ended the line you are writing. It's like full stop in English language. If you don't, colon gives a lot of errors, and you get problems with your work if you don't use colons at the end of every line you intend to end. I'll say this once. And then we can do some basic stuff like let's see, our attendance for today is 30. So we can create a variable like attendance is equal to 30. Over here too, if you don't use the semicolon and you run your code, it will immediately appear in your command window. But if you don't want if you don't want it to appear in your command window, you'd end it with a colon. See, it had an alert on to show that getting an error. And anyway, so if you want to run your code, let me move this out. All you have to do is hit run. So we've run our code, and you can see in the workspace that there's the variable is created, attendance, the value of 30, and it's a 1-by-1 matrix. So that's about everything today's session was supposed to cover. If you have any questions, please raise your hand and ask. Yeah, NBA.
Okay, so thank you. If you're saying if you end any line, you're supposed to use a colon, right?
Yeah.
But then I'm seeing a semicolon.
I said, did I say colon? I meant semicolon. Thanks for the clarification. It's semicolon. Obviously. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay, so if there's no question, this is the end of the meeting.